Morning, Johan. Fantastic bumping into you here, sitting here at the Town Lodge in Umhlanga. We're busy doing the KZN Top Business Ladies Shoot for the day. Standard Bank, the sponsor of that, an incredible project that we've got going. But bumped into you at the reception. So you are our columnist from LabourNet. The next article you're doing in KZN Business Sense is on employment equity. Now, it's a hell of an important subject, so just fill us a little bit in what the article is all about.
Yes, the next article in the Business Sense that I will write, or that LabourNet will write, is all about employment equity. It is the employment equity season for businesses and employers out there. They are in the period where they need to submit their employment equity reports. The reporting period closes 15th of January next year, but it is open as we speak, and all designated employers are now in the process of compiling their reports in the prescribed format and then getting ready to get it signed off by the Section 24 or Employment Equity Manager, and then to submit the same to the Department of Labour.
Okay, so what is your typical company that would have to do this process?
Grant, the Employment Equity Act says that all designated employers need to comply with the Employment Equity Act. Now, what is a designated employer? Now, yes, it is municipality, organ of state, etc. But in the business world, any employer employing more than 50 employees will be a designated employer. And if you are employing less than 50 employees, anybody whose turnover is determined by Schedule 4 of the Employment Equity Act. So you could employ less than 50, but your turnover is of such a nature that you still need to comply. Yes, and that is seen as a designated employer, and they need to obviously report.
What is the biggest is it misconception about the employment equity?
The biggest misconception out there, and it's after a couple of years of the Act, I think the Act was actually promulgated in 1998, if I'm not mistaken, is that employment equity is only, I have an employment equity plan and I do whatever I want to during the year, and then I report to the Department of Labour. And a lot of companies and employers actually get fined by that process, because the reporting, the submitting of my employment equity status and report is actually only one step in the whole process of employment equity. If I can highlight the big steps in an employment equity, what you need to do, and there's obviously a lot of detail that goes into each step. You need to have an employment equity plan. You need to form an employment equity committee. You need to appoint a Section 24 or employment equity manager. You need to do analysis, barriers analysis, as well as employee analysis. You also need to remove barriers, etc. And then only do you get to the reporting period, which is this time of the year. So there's a lot of steps that need to be done in a prescribed way and format. Otherwise, the Department of Labour is also not satisfied with how you do it and what you have done. So yes, that is where companies still get burned, so to speak, because they think it's only submitting a report once a year. Yeah.
So it sounds pretty complex, but you seem to have all the answers. So what I'm going to do is put your contact details on the screen. People give you a buzz or get hold of you via your internet site. And as you say, the season's open from now. When is it from?
It's already open, and then it closes on the 15th of January 2022.
So it's a very important thing to get done right now. So
yes.
Jan, it was nice bumping into you upstairs. So maybe you can go next door and have your portrait done and another interview with you as the bearded lady.
Yeah, thanks, Grant. Also, I think it's also very important to mention the risk for employers if they are found to be non-compliant with employment equity is huge.
Yeah.
The first fine for non-compliance starts at 2% of annual turnover or 1.5 million, whichever is the greatest, and continued or repeated non-compliance can go up to 10% of annual turnover or 2.7 million in fines. It's not worth it not to do it right. I mean, we've got the solution, we've got specialist consultants that can assist any business with the employment equity process.
Those are some serious fines.
Yes, it can actually cripple a business to the extent that they can go out of business, so to speak. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for squeezing me in, Grant. And then, yeah, I'll go have a coffee and, yeah, take my bearded lady photo. Thank you.
You do that. All right, so there you have it. Okay, and this is Grant Adlam from Business Sense reporting back to the studio.